What's up, Waxhaw? This is John Mullen with the Roots and Relics podcast, the podcast for locals, brought to you by the Historic Preservation Commission. We're really excited to be here today in the downtown Waxhaw area in the Duncan McDonald House, and we have somebody really interesting to debut today, which is Ashley Nowell of the Downtown Waxhaw Association. We're going to talk about all things that are coming up in the month of May and the month of June, all things preservation related to the history of Waxhaw, talking about new additions coming up in the downtown area, new projects. We're here with Ashley Nowell. We're here at the historic Duncan McDonald House, one of the oldest buildings in Waxhaw town, hosting the Roots and Relics podcast for locals, here to talk about all things Waxhaw, past, future, and present, of course. So here we are today at the Duncan McDonald House, and we have Ashley ready to tell us a little bit about the Downtown Waxhaw Association.
Yeah, so excited to be here. Yeah, you mentioned we're in the oldest house in downtown. So this house was built in 1888. Duncan McDonald House used to be our post office too.
That's awesome. There was a couple post offices around Waxhaw, right?
Yeah.
I think one was taken down recently, right? And then there's another
Back
one
behind Tangles. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, that's pretty interesting. I feel like a lot of buildings in town have been so many other things throughout the years that it's worth sharing that history about.
Absolutely. One of my favorites is Provisions. That building actually used to be a movie theater.
Really?
Yeah, so I had 2 screens in there. And I've actually seen the old movie theater chairs.
That's awesome. Because I heard Indigo Pearl was also a theater.
Oh.
It was a second-story theater. That's actually where the fire escape comes down the one side of the building.
Yeah.
It used to be located in the back of the building when it was a second-story building. So it's really funny to see that some of these buildings have had so many different lives. So I guess the point of this show is to kind of highlight all these different buildings, all these different things that are going on around Waxhaw, the history that's been here over the past few hundred years. It's really exciting. So again, I mentioned I'm part of the Historic Preservation Commission. So I do serve in a little bit of a volunteer role here in town. So I'm learning more about the town, being somebody who's not from here. Tell us what else you know about the town here. Do you know any interesting things?
Yeah, so I serve as the business development director for the town, and I am the executive director for the Downtown Waxhaw Association that you mentioned. So I started with the town about 4 years ago, and one of my first projects was getting that nonprofit started and kind of off the ground, because we really saw that there was so much potential in downtown, and by starting this nonprofit we could help preserve our history, preserve our buildings, and ultimately help promote the just unique character and history and charm that we have in downtown Waxhaw.
Totally. That's what brought me here. I'm from Long Island originally, like a lot of folks from Waxhaw, from New York. But I grew up in a historic neighborhood. I mean, having a history where you live is so important. I mean, especially if you're raising kids and you want to talk about what it was and teach them like in the field, ultimately walking around town, being able to point things out. It's pretty awesome. And there's a lot of people around here that we're excited to bring on to this show.
Yeah.
So they can tell us about all the buildings that they've worked on, where they used to work, they started businesses, they used to hang out with their friends and whatever else they used to do around town here back in the day. But there's a lot going on in town today. I know we have a busy May coming up, but I wanted to talk a little bit about what we have coming up in May.
Absolutely. So yeah, we're very busy in downtown Waxhaw, always super busy. Our businesses have been loving this warm weather after a really cold winter, so we've seen a lot of our foot traffic pick up in downtown recently. Very exciting. So in May, on May 10th, we'll actually have our Kaleidoscope Festival. That'll be centered completely at the downtown park. So our Parks and Rec events team helps plan that event.
Awesome.
They'll have that at the downtown park, a big cultural arts festival. It'll include, I think, more than 80 craft vendors, several food trucks, entertainment. It'll be a great weekend downtown.
So I've been to a couple of those now, a few years in a row. I'm excited. This one's going to have some integration with the new park.
Yeah, so the event will be completely at the park.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
So they'll have all the vendors, all the food trucks, entertainment, everything in the park.
Awesome. Yeah, the past few years it was right on our North Main Street, right? And so will North Main Street still be closed down for the?
It'll be open now.
Interesting.
Yeah. So,
Okay, great.
Which is great for our businesses because they'll
Yeah.
still have access to all their parking.
Fantastic.
You'll still be able to visit all of the businesses during the event. So yeah.
Awesome.
It'll be a great weekend.
Live music and everything else?
Lots of live music. Yeah.
Awesome.
With our Downtown Waxhaw Association, we always have so many projects going on, and we've got several like big ones that we're working on right now. So our
Right.
downtown master plan is probably our biggest one that we're working on with the town.
Considering Waxhaw has so many cool little things all over the place, but connecting them
Yeah.
is really, really what we have to start talking a little bit more about.
Absolutely.
And, just bringing those pieces together and trying to get whoever's going to come in here and do the next thing
Yep.
to make that integral for everybody, especially when it comes to bike riding and walking. And, my kids are getting older now, so I'm letting them out on their bikes and stuff like that. And, I live in a town with a lot of small kids, so I know that integration into downtown will only promote health and wellness, and obviously the
Absolutely.
businesses that are around here, and just more activities for the kids to do. So
Yeah, and we have so many businesses that want to be in downtown, and it's a great problem to have that we don't have available space often. And
Yeah.
so
for now,
for now, I think one of the discussions that we kept having is that the master plan is ultimately a way that we can help create more spaces, but then also think about the parking that we're going to need for those businesses that we
Sure.
bring in, as well as how do we connect our residents that live just outside of downtown to our downtown.
I think the
area.
connection will help with the parking, will help with the traffic.
Absolutely.
Nevertheless, there's plenty of great trails throughout Waxhaw.
Yep.
Through Millbridge, where I live, I think Curitan has one now. There's the Prescott trails. All these trails are starting to integrate into each other and bring you into the downtown area,
Yep.
which is like key. Get
Absolutely.
the bikes off the roads, keep your cars at home. I think
Drive and walk downtown.
drive and walk downtown. I
Yep.
mean, really, getting the foot traffic down here is great for businesses. It's great for just tourism generally. I think, you
Absolutely.
come into a neighborhood like this that has a cool look to it. Just seeing so much activity and so much energy in the street is
Yeah.
like a really nice thing to have, So what else you got going on? I know you guys just built a new website.
Yeah, so we have a new website, downtownwaxhaw.com.
Cool.
It's got any of the events that are happening in downtown at our businesses all listed on there. We're working on several other pages that we'll add over time to a big business directory. All kinds of ways to learn how to plug into downtown.
That's awesome.
Another project I'm really excited about is actually right here around the corner. We are working with a local artist to do crosswalk murals at the intersection of West North Main and North Church Street.
That's
So
awesome.
kind of right outside of Tangles and Great Wagon Road.
Yeah, the box there.
yeah, in that box,
Gotcha.
yes.
I've been
So-
seeing that all over different cities. I travel a lot for work, so I get to visit a lot of really
Yep.
cool historic places. And those crosswalk boxes, filling them up with art just makes them more visible.
Yes.
It adds beauty to the streets. I mean, it's also just, it's cool. Is it going to be interchangeable? Is it going to be something that gets refreshed every couple of years?
So, I mean, it'll probably last for like 4 to 6 years.
Great.
Really excited about it. The artist that we selected has done a lot of like native flora and fauna type
Cool.
art.
Awesome.
And so the pieces will all be related to like native species that
Very cool.
that are native here to Waxhaw.
That's
So,
awesome. Yeah, downtown's getting a lot of new improvements. They've been doing a lot of work around the parking, around the
Yep.
curbs, the
Yep.
drainage. I've been seeing some things, but I also heard there was kiosks coming up, those electronic
Yes.
kiosks. I'm really excited for because I serve on the Historic Preservation Commission. I was like, how do we tell the story of Waxhaw without you having to go to the website, without you having to look at the building? Like maybe on the map there'll be some integration
Yeah.
with history, and you could look back and see when the buildings were built, who they belong to in past times, and again, just another interactive opportunity for kids to kind of play with in the
Absolutely.
street and learn at the same time.
Yeah, we have some friends out in Belmont. They did a really
Yeah.
cool digital kiosk project, and we took some elected officials out there a few years ago, and they loved them. So we were like, we got to get some in Waxhaw. So it's another one of our big projects that our organization's working on right now is completing those. So they will actually look like a train caboose. So the structure will look like a caboose, which is really fun.
For the actual
Yeah.
kiosks?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow, I
And
didn't
then
hear
the
about that.
screen on the inside is all touchable. And so you'll have a business directory on there. So say
Very
you want to
cool.
go shopping and you want to find women's clothing, it'll tell you exactly where to go and show that on a map. But we'll also have an about section. So where
cool.
you can learn about the history and pull up our story map that Janet, our preservation planner, created.
Yeah.
It tells the history of all of our buildings. It's going to be such a cool project to talk about.
That's awesome.
Everything that happens in downtown, but in like a really interactive digital way. Our downtown is historic and it's charming, and what makes it that are the old buildings and
Right.
the brick and the train, and we want to make sure that we're throwing back to that history too.
Sure. Well, I always talk about like how do you preserve history, but also move into the digital times. I mean,
Yeah.
the best way to actually preserve anything now in this day and age is actually to make it digital, believe it or not. You have to come up with these archives. You have to build these archives out. So part of being on the Historic Preservation Commission, I've found it really exciting to kind of work on these archives, these libraries, and these categories of
Yep.
the buildings, and kind of play that history back in time, whether we end up making it like a GPT, like we talked about earlier, where you can ask it questions, or, you know, I've seen some really cool interactive augmented reality applications where like you could point your phone at a building and kind of scan back in time.
Oh, I love that
and
idea.
see how it like changed over the years, because the structure hasn't changed, the skyline hasn't changed, but the building,
Look
the
at the
businesses, the ownership, I think a lot of that stuff is just opportunity for historic towns to like make learning fun,
Yep.
make it more tourist friendly, but also like there's a lot of people here who don't know about the history in Waxhaw. So like a lot of people from all over the world have moved over here the past
Yep.
couple of years, and that is what makes this place awesome.
Absolutely.
So-
Yeah, there's another project we're working on that ties back into our train history and kind of tells those stories through trains. So we'll have 12 3D printed trains and a 3D printed depot
Okay.
that will be all over downtown. And
I heard
they all
about
have
this one, I think.
QR codes that have the story of like where that train would have.
Is this the
come
Trains
from.
on Main?
Trains on Main.
That's
Yep.
awesome. Yeah, I did hear about this. This is
Yeah.
exciting. Another one for the kids. I think everybody's going to like that. It's
Yep.
kind of like a geocaching type of thing, right?
Exactly.
You find out where they are, you scan the thing, you learn a little bit about the place.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. Really cool.
It's really fun. We're getting really, really close on it. So hopefully sometime early summer we'll have that up and running.
You talked a lot about the shopping opportunities, like see what the boutiques are in the neighborhood, and there's more and more popping up every single day.
Absolutely.
One thing I think Downtown Waxhaw Association did that is like so cool, and I think it's just something very. I don't think it's gotten out there to the public yet. Is the gift cards.
Oh yeah.
Like the multi-store gift cards, and like
Absolutely.
you know, we're gonna get them for their kids for the birthday this year,
Yep,
so like they can go out with this little credit card kind of thing for town,
Yep.
and like just go into town. You don't have to give them any cash, you don't have to give them any, and they can just go out and they could spend their own money
Yep.
on a like a debit card ultimately, but
Exactly.
it's usable in multiple stores throughout the town. I think that's a genius idea.
Yeah, it's so cool. I mean, it literally works just like a MasterCard.
It's awesome.
And it's, it can be used, I think it's 26 or 27 businesses in downtown that
That's
accept
amazing.
it.
Perfect birthday
they're-
gift.
It's
Like-
perfect.
Yeah.
Right now they come in quantities of 25, 50, or 100.
Gotcha.
No.
Can you purchase them in store?
Yeah, here or online. So
Okay,
like
great.
at the McDonald House where our office is.
Cool.
Or online. So if you go to downtownwaxhaw.com, we've got the
That's really
little
awesome.
gift card link there.
So another reason to come check out the Duncan McDonald House where we're
Exactly.
filming today. So
Yeah, well, and that's the cool thing about this space. When they moved Town Hall to the new Town Hall building, we really advocated for having a space downtown because we weren't accessible. We wanted to be able to have people come visit us, show people this house, and really open this house up to the community. So it's been really fun to have me and our staff Alara here with us, and it's been nice to welcome people and connect people back to our history with this building.
I mean, you're right here in the middle of town. If people don't know where the Duncan McDonald House is, it's across the street from Tap House, right under the water tower, the water tank, I should say.
Yeah, water tank.
Yes, it's accessible. Come in anytime, pick up one of those gift cards for your kids for their birthday party. I think it's a great opportunity for like just again another family friendly kind of thing that
Absolutely.
people can use. And there's so many stores here now that
Yep.
you know the kids can go buy their own things at the boutiques, at the antique shops, and whatever else is around here. So
We also
That's cool.
sell downtown merchandise here too. So
Nice.
we've got
All right.
some great
some swag.
downtown socks and a sweatshirt and
Very
some
cool.
dog bandanas. Cause
Awesome.
people just really want downtown to be dog friendly recently. That's been a
Yeah,
big
I heard that
push
at the
that
master planning.
Yep.
I heard dog park a couple
Yes,
times.
absolutely.
That's interesting.
I spoke to some 8th graders at Cuthbertson Middle today, and they said they wanted a dog-friendly downtown as
Wow.
well. They want to be able to walk their dogs down here and take them into businesses. And
That's interesting. See, I love my dog, but I don't think I'm going to bring her out. She's very loud. She talks a lot.
Yes,
But-
yeah. Mhm. Mine likes to sleep at home on the couch.
Okay.
He does not like to go out.
But if you go in like uptown Charlotte, Noda especially is like a very dog friendly place.
Yeah.
It actually caught us off guard when we first came
Valid.
down here. We were like, we've seen this dog like just sitting on a table at a bar. And we were like, okay, this is different. You know, you don't see this much in New York, but it's pretty cool. I mean,
Yeah.
it's definitely an opportunity for family friendly.
Great.
Some people don't have children. They like to bring out their fur babies and let
Well,
them.
how cool would it be to have like downtown branded dog bowls all over downtown?
That would
and,
be
like,
really cool.
Have all of our dogs with their little bandanas. Like,
Yeah.
I think that'd be really fun. environment to create.
Well, I mean, it's definitely gonna make people smile.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's definitely good for
Yeah.
for that. It definitely raises the spirits seeing a puppy dog around.
Building good culture downtown.
Yeah, listen, this whole town is a great place for social media generally too.
Yes.
You
Yep.
know, you see a lot of creators down here now doing all sorts of different things.
I think that was something that drew me to Waxhaw, was just that creative mindset that was here.
Yeah.
The first time we came, we just like fell in love with the history, but we were just so impressed by the number of artists and just creative people that are in the area.
There's a lot of very interesting people here in Waxhaw.
Yeah.
I love it.
I mean, it's such a great place for artists, makers, craftsmen. It's just a welcoming community where we feel like we belong.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just definitely, it's beautiful and it's inspiring to be here, and being around like-minded people and culture like that is just what makes this place so cool.
What's so interesting about downtown Waxhaw, just historically, is just the number of craftsmen that would have been here.
Yeah.
But that also continue. I mean, like, what place can you go that has like a blacksmith in their downtown? Like, we have a whole blacksmith area and shop at the Mule Barn. And Tony, he's there once a month, and you get to go see that kind of historic craft right here in the middle of downtown Waxhaw. It's awesome.
It's really cool. It's definitely inspiring to see all these different makers, and they're still keeping their crafts alive, which is really cool, because then it generates kids' interest in doing that in the future when a lot of these things are starting to go away.
Right. That's why craftsmanship is such a big pillar for our economic development strategies for the Downtown Waxhaw Association. Things that are made well last.
Absolutely. If you're building things that are going to last a long time, that are going to benefit the public, it could be really beautiful for, in 100 years from now, when somebody else is hosting a podcast. Maybe a robot's doing it by then, but but they'll be talking about all the cool things that we built.
That we did.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that's pretty awesome. So really exciting.
No, I'm definitely excited to help, bring more entrepreneurs and small businesses into our area. I think we have such great opportunity for that here.
Definitely.
What are the things that make Waxhaw charming? Like, what are those things? And one of the ones that I don't think I had really ever thought about was obviously the buildings, right?
Sure.
Buildings in downtown, the brick, that is charming. But one of the other like really charming things about downtown is that we have trees, open space, and green space.
Yeah, proximity to the farms is amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
There's like room to breathe. And I think we talked a lot about that in our history stakeholder session, is that there's room to breathe here.
Absolutely.
And I think I'm so passionate about making sure, like, when infill development comes in, that charm of Waxhaw stays.
Sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
That piece has to be a part of it.
Well, this is a lot of fun. We'll keep an update on what's going on in the next future months. But May, we got Kaleidoscope. Don't forget to show up to that. And just really excited.
June, we'll have Juneteenth.
Juneteenth.
And then July is Independent Retailer Month.
Sure,
so
and
we'll
4th of July.
And 4th of July parade.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing a lot of promotion for shopping small, shopping local in July.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Let's do it again.
All right. Very good. Well, thanks for tuning in today to the Roots and Relics podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We got a lot of future things coming up over the next few months, and we're really excited to share with you what's coming up.